Now, the same Jesus, right? Let's go back to the Jesus part, because the Lord, there's fat women all over the country, fat black American women that are like, ooh, Jesus, oh, Jesus, and that's great. You know what I mean? We got a lot of people that are, you know, the choir game is sick. You know what I mean? Our choir game is sick. We went from like just singing old school, you know, that sing songs, praying for freedom, praying to Jesus for freedom. Okay, praying to Jesus for freedom, singing these old tunes. Next thing you know, we not only got freedom, you know what I'm saying, but if you don't feel like you got freedom, fine, you still a slave. Alright, fuck it. You know what I mean? Hey, you want to be a slave, that's your issue. And you can be like, oh, I don't want to be a slave, I want to fight the establishment. When you figure out what part of Africa you're from, let me know, goddammit, because I want to check it out myself. But at these churches, you know, there's always this, you know, we have this, the choir, gospel music had like, it snuck in there, and this became a certain level of they reached a certain level of holiness. Now, Pentecost is one of those things where we always look at the part where they're sitting down at the table, Jesus just ascended, the Holy Spirit gets sent down, they have fire on top of their heads. There's no other God, there's no God in Egypt that got a fire over their head. You notice that? Nobody, not even the good one. Now there's Sarah Kit had like a little something, but it wasn't a fire. You see what I mean? But what they did have is the sun. You see what I mean? They did have the sun sitting on top of it. Later on in other drawings, they show them with the sun behind them. And you can't look at these images as if they really saw this person. You can look at these images like that's what they thought they were. That's what they thought they were. And you can always see the way we worship Jesus is not the same as the way the slave masters were worshiping Jesus, or white people today. Sometimes they try to worship him the same exact way. You know, that if you ever been to a Spanish church, you know what I mean, it's pretty much the same. But that's all Pentecostal though. You see what I mean? It's Pentecostal, then you got the Baptists. The Baptists kind of take a little bit of an influence, but it's not that much. Then people really want to get pro-black. Sometimes they go to the AME, you know what I mean? That's not really a pro-black thing. The Seventh-day Adventists have like certain levels of the Holy Spirit or whatever sometimes, but usually they don't fuck with it because it's just, you know, it's the Sabbath day. They're not really there. You see what I mean? And Ellen G. White, you know what I mean? Like, you see Ellen G. White was this black lady, Ellen G. White. You see what I mean? And she feels that possibly everybody who's worshiping on Sunday has the mark of the beast, but they never go too far. She doesn't mention Ray. You see what I mean? She doesn't mention Ray, and she doesn't mention Helios. She says the sun god. You see what I mean? And it's like, it's the thing of Satan on Sunday, when I was told by Christians that they worship on Sunday because that's the day that Jesus resurrected. Now, let's say they threw that little thing in there with the Saturday and the Sunday, right? Let's say they threw that in there. What if they did that just to send your ass back to Africa? Would you hate him for it? Honestly, but would you? Nah, you wouldn't. You'd probably sit there and go, okay, I'm back. But we're not back. You know what I mean? We're not back, and it's like, what God are you gonna ask to be back? You see what I mean? Like what would you call, who you gonna call? Are you gonna call the Ghostbusters? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of ghosts out there, and sometimes they take you back to your homeland, but they set up a set of rules that, you know, exclude you from the rest of the world. You know what I mean? And some people like that. Now, to be honest, that's not a bad thing. At the same time, it's always like they do anything with another country, they get fucked up by another country. Because that's always how it happens. Whenever the Jews used to worship another god, God would send another country with another god to punish them for it. It happens all the time. Now, every once in a while, there was a plague here and there, and there was like famine. You know, every once in a while it would be like that. But usually, you call the king of Babylon, boom, he takes him over. Okay, you call the king of Egypt, boom, he fucks him over. You know what I mean? Call the king of Assyria, he fucks him over. Like, there's certain kings of Canaan. You know what I mean? The Amathite, or whatever the case may be, the Philistines, boom, they start fucking with him. And that's how it always works. You see what I mean?